All right, guys, it's Crazy Kevin here with my boy Steve, and we are here with Youssef Zalal. Youssef, how we doing?
I am good, my man. How you guys doing?
Doing good,
Good.
man. Can't complain. So, Youssef, here, your last fight, you were here at a crazy event with this Sparta 98. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Man, like I said, the words are crazy on that one. It's the emotions and everything. It was three fights in one night, and because I couldn't find nobody to fight for like months. I think it was like 5 months, 4 months, and we were like, okay. They came out with me with this Sparta idea. They were like, hey, we're doing this. Do you want to do it? And I was like, especially there was like no guaranteed money. Like if you lose the first fight, you're done. Like you make
Yeah,
zero
that's
dollars of
crazy.
fighting. Yeah. So I was like, man, there's all this pressure and all this and that. But I kind of got into my head and I was like, well, I'm here to prove I am the best in the regional scene. So it is what it is. Let's do it. And as soon as I took it, they were like, yeah, you're number one seed. And the tournament was number one seed versus number eight. And apparently the number eight was a straight boxer, no MMA experience, no kickboxing experience. And of course, the first round of the tournament is I think it's 4 3 minute rounds in boxing, straight boxing rules and everything. So I was like,
Oh,
holy shit. Like yeah, that was
yeah.
me. And I was like, the guys, golden gloves, this, that. So I had like, man, I had like the most motivated, like this mentality and just like proving people wrong and all that stuff. So I went in the first fight. I took it very personal because the guys came in and I was like, you kind of disrespecting my sport and disrespecting the whole tournament by not having an experience and just coming in and think you're gonna win over everybody. So I obviously win the first round, and then they were like, "Oh, you got to sit right back down and get ready in 20 minutes, and then you got to get back again." And I was like, "Holy shit!
20
Like this
minutes.
is yeah, I think it was like 20, 30 minutes max." And I had to
Holy.
fight the kickboxing fight. Yeah. And after the kickboxing fight, I was like, oh man, I go with this young kid, and he's like all explosive, bro. This fool got so much power in him, bro. He's a 55er coming down to 45. And I was like, holy shit. So I got done with that. And then they're like, yeah, you're not gonna be fighting until like 3 hours or something like that. So I literally sat there after my second kickboxing fight. The second round was kickboxing, and then I literally stayed there till 3 hours, and then I had the finale, which is MMA, and it was against a straight kickboxer as well. So I was like, it was like a roller coaster of emotions, but I think he got to really show all the skills and my IQ and my experience that I got to use against everybody in there.
When you go from boxing to kickboxing, especially that fast, would you prefer like kickboxing? Or are you more, would you say like you're more comfortable in that situation versus just boxing?
I mean, I love kickboxing. I grew up kickboxing, so
Yeah.
like I started kickboxing when I was 10 years old, but
Okay.
I actually preferred boxing around that time because boxing was more free. I had
Yeah.
like the Philly shell, I had like everything. I was kind of be a little bit more free, like, like not worried about my head ducking, my
Uh,
this and that.
yeah.
Because the kickboxing fight, the guy still was kind of like like a boxing mode. So that's why I was able to find the knees and like drop him with the knees and everything because he kept like really ducking. My ass, as soon as I saw the kickboxing round, I was like, "Yep, we straight Dutch kickboxing. We're not doing that." So
Yeah.
that was that. Yeah. So, but I would love, like, I love a lot of boxing. I'm very interested in boxing.
Speaking of boxing, what did you catch the Anthony Joshua versus Ngannou last night?
Oh my God, I thought like I was one of the guys that making fun of. Did you guys see his warm up?
Who?
Nagano's?
No, AJ.
Nah.
No, no.
Oh my God, but he was throwing that right hand and like overextending and just holding it, like timing it and like freezing and coming back. And I was like, man, what the hell this guy is doing? And I was like, as soon as he landed that right hand, and I was like, well, I see why he was working that in the back.
Yeah.
And I was like, it literally the same right hand that he landed on the back. If you go to watch that video, you'll see what I'm talking about. Oh my God, bro.
I saw
I
he was
was
doing it even before, like he knew.
Oh, bro. Oh my God. I don't think I want to get hit with either of those guys. I'll tell you that. But
Absolutely. Yeah.
No.
man, you gotta give props to Ngannou though. He's doing something that's not he's not comfortable with, but he's working towards that, and obviously with the Tyson Fury fight, that was
Yeah,
very interesting. Had us all believing that he actually can be something, and I still think he can be something in that sport. To be honest, especially as a heavyweight, I think he deserves all the respect and all the like the boxing and all that stuff. I think he's one of the best fighters in the world.
absolutely.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And what do you think too with the recent news with like Jake Paul and Mike Tyson? I mean, I woke up, I didn't even think that was real.
Bro, that like we had a certain era now. It's like
It's like a
we're just here to
circus.
make money. Yeah, we're just here to
Yeah,
make money. It doesn't matter. I mean, like you really fighting a 50-year-old. Is he 50 years old? I think
Yeah, I think so.
57.
Yeah, yeah.
He's
57.
57.
Oh God, yeah. Like, come on, bro. Like, really? Like, no.
That's
But
unbelievable.
make your money though, man. You gotta give him props. They're both making money.
Yeah.
So Tyson's still making some money. He's not
But
just sitting there.
yeah. And the thing with Mike Tyson is like I feel like it's an act almost, but it still is Mike Tyson, like
Yeah, it's a legend for sure. But it's like you
and
look at it, you're like, oh,
yeah.
let me see you 20 years ago with this guy. Even
Yeah,
20 years
That was
ago, you're
crazy.
like,
yeah.
still. But
Yeah, no, that's crazy. Now going back to your fighting, where are you training at now, and what are you doing to train to get ready for an upcoming fight?
obviously, I'm still with my team Factory X, Denver, Colorado. I come to Vegas to kind of just train a little bit, get some training going. But obviously, my home and my team is Factory X, and we're just hoping, man. We're just still staying ready, waiting. I got Ramadan coming up, and I usually don't train in Ramadan, so I take the break, But you never know. There's a lot of openings lately, so hopefully something comes around in here soon.
That is sweet.
Have you ever excuse me? Have you ever tried to train during Ramadan, or have you always just said I'm not going to train during that?
Bro, I was a dumbass. I trained. I used to train when I was starting as a pro. I used to train 3 times a day, no water, no food, and then actually my fight against Son Woodson in the UFC, I trained only 1 week out of Ramadan because it was literally the fight. They gave me the fight. I trained Ramadan the whole time, so I was training at night with no food, no water. So I would start practice around like 7:30. I would eat or drink in that practice. Like I'll start drinking finally at 8. So 30 minutes into the practice or 40 minutes into the practice, I'm drinking. And then that was done. And then the Ramadan was done. I had 1 week and then I stopped cutting weight. So that was not fun. And I would never do that again. So I
Yeah, that
told
sounds.
coach, I told coach, I told everybody that they know it's either fight before Ramadan or fight like at least a month after Ramadan just to give me just a little break to recover. And then obviously, like my shape, I'm never worried about my shape. To be honest, I feel like I'm always a gym guy and a gym rat, as they say, and on all that stuff. So I'm not really worried about my shape. And obviously, my fighting style too. It's like a very high pacey style too. So it's not worried about that. So mostly it's about like your body physically, how it feels and like recovers and deals with the punches and all that stuff. So that's like the most important part.
Now, with your UFC career, I thought I heard in a recent podcast that you never had a fight or a full fight camp. Is that true? And if so, do you think
Yeah.
if you have another shot in the UFC, you want a full camp to really show everyone what you got?
Of course, I definitely want a full camp, but that was the younger me though. That was the old Youssef. I think I was not mature enough to be in the UFC, if that makes any sense. I was just relying on talent, and you still see my talent, even though not the most confident kid and all that stuff is still one of the best in the world. So for me to get to show that opportunity again and to be the Youssef 2.0, and really get to show not just the confidence, the maturity of my skills and the belief in my skills. I think that I never had that before. Like I'm a mixed martial artist, right? I can do it all. I can strike, jujitsu, wrestle, whatever you call it, right? But you can see in some of my fights that they were like, why the hell this guy shooting? Why the hell is this? Where the hell is that? That's the immaturity of me, but that's past, but the future is going to be great. And I can't wait to get that opportunity again. And hopefully it's a full camp. If it's not, I'm always ready. Right. But I definitely want to be a lot more smarter this time, and more mature towards my career and my decisions.
I like it. Now, you fought Ilya Topuria in his debut, and watching him win the belt. I mean, how's that go for your confidence now?
Oh, I don't know if you guys saw my Instagram post right after that fight, and I was like, I posted my story. I was like, I can't wait because I fought that guy on 5 days' notice. He fought me on 5 days' notice too, so I give him that. But I fought him on 5 days' notice, and I was going from a striker to a straight grappler. So, and I don't think he ever grappled that much in the whole UFC career beside me. Like he never grappled with anybody in the UFC until he got hurt by Burns, whatever his name is.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
that's the only time. So for me, I got to expose a lot of things that he's not really good at, which he fixed a lot of them too, to be honest. But it gives me a lot of confidence. Like I said, man, for me that I know where my talent is at. Now I just got to match it with my skills and my confidence and with my maturity. I think I have a world champion chip caliber athlete in me, and I can't wait to prove that.
When you were watching that fight, were you shocked when he got that win against Volk?
I'm shocked that he got it that way. Let's just say it that way. I was not shocked that he didn't have a chance to win. Of course, bro. He's what is he 7-0 in the UFC? It's like nonstop, just knocking everybody out. So like I was definitely shocked, but like the way it ended. And Volk was one of my favorite fighters too. Yeah, like even though in that division, I always like the past, I would say 3 years, 4 years. I've been watching a lot of Volk and Max Holloway. Those are like one of my favorite guys, but you can tell like times are like, and then there's the guys coming up, so especially at 27 years old, so that was definitely a little bit stinger, but hey, that was the young kid in me, you're like, oh man, don't see Volk, but I'm not surprised though. It's that kid is real good, man. That kid hits like he has some missiles in his right hands for sure. So you definitely got to respect that.
Speaking of Max, who do you like with him versus Justin Gaethje and UFC 300?
Bro, that's a tough fight. That's a tough fight. I want my boy Max Holloway to win, but boy, that's a tough fight. Gaethje's been looking good, man. He's been looking good. And same thing with Gaethje, man. You do not want to get hit by that right hand or left hook anytime.
Wow.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, me and Steve, we actually saw him in Philly live, and he fought Edson Barbosa, and he got a big left hook knockout there.
Oh, bro. Oh my God. Ooh, that knockout was. Ooh.
Yeah, that was brutal to see live.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Who do you like tonight in the main event with O'Malley versus Cheeto?
Bro, I'm interested to see. There's a lot of talk that O'Malley might be the first guy to finish Cheeto or drop Cheeto, and to be honest, if you look at like paper-wise or like number-wise, he's the guy to do it for sure because he's like one of the most accurate guys in that division, But man, that durability and that pace that Cheeto has when he's in there, like that's why you have to get him out of his game like quickly. And I think one of the guys that done that is Corey Sandhagen, because that's like IQ beats the grit and the like the nonstop cardio and all that stuff, right? Because you just IQ in the guy, so you don't have to really challenge that much, But I'm interested to see how Sean O'Malley does that. Is he going to mix it up, or is he going to be all striking? Because if it's all striking, it's going to be interesting, I think.
Yeah.
Now, who do you think has the best fight IQ in the UFC, or just in MMA in general, I guess, too?
If I go UFC, like in general, I would say John Jones, but if we're going off weight classes, there's definitely each guy in each weight class. But I just said like Corey Sandhagen is one of the guys with good IQ too, So it's very high IQ for sure. You can guys like that, you got to be really, really prepared for the IQ.
Now, speaking of different IQs per weight class, interesting food for thought. Is there any weight class you think, like in the UFC, where maybe, at your weight class, you think you could like move up, maybe like 170, 180? I know it's unrealistic, but like, is there any guys you think you could train against and beat those guys at all?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, 100%. 55 or 70, but goddamn, bro, I don't think I want to try that, to be
No,
honest.
no,
I'm
I just
like,
figure, your Sparta stuff, you're interested to try some different things.
bro, nah, hell no. Hell no. That's what I think is one time, bro. I am good, bro. I'm glad that I had that in my journey. And like I get to talk about it. I get to tell about it and like really show people what it was about, because that training camp was nuts too. Like I had to really, really dial a lot of things in. And two was like, you know how training sometimes will get like plateau and then you're like, you're doing the same thing over and over, especially in camps. But this is like made it like fun. I was coming in and I'm like, oh shit, like on sparring days on Friday, I'm like, oh man, I'm doing kickboxing, boxing, and then I got MMA, and I was like, I have to change my IQ so quick and like really change a lot of things because it's back to back. It's not like the actual fight. You fight, wait, then fight. No, it was 5 rounds, 1 minute break, 5 rounds, 1 minute. 5 minute, 1 minute break, 5 minute, 1 minute break, like 3 times in a row or 4 times in a row. So I was, man, it was excited to come in and really just train. So that was very good. But yeah, there's definitely some guys I can definitely IQ for sure, no problem.
I like it. I like it. Very cool. And what's it like to fight in the UFC? Like what's the emotions like, and what's it like in general?
Uh, it, it's fighting, but it's definitely like one of the best feelings, especially as your first time, right? It's like I said, I was a kid. I was like, oh shit, like I just like my debut, I was like this because I fought in John Jones versus Reyes's card against Austin Lingo. That was my the UFC debut, and it was at the Toyota Center in Houston. So I walked out, I didn't even check. They were like, hey, you want to check the cage? I was like, nope. I want to have the full experience when I go in there. I want to experience. I want to experience it when it's live. I don't want to. Oh, you already saw it, and then you came back, and then you're about to walk out again. I was like, no. Let me just went straight to the back, got it done, and then walked in. And I was like, I was literally walking out. And I was like, in my head, I was like, oh my god. I was like, that was my face. But like I said, after that, I kind of got a little bit complacent, a little bit. But it's definitely a memory you'll never forget as a UFC debut. It's weird now though. It's like sometimes the Apex, so you actually don't really get to feel what it feels like actually fighting in front of fans and all that because I think that's the best memory you would ever remember in your career. But the Apex, obviously, it's like you can hear, like I've said this before, you can hear people breathing, you can hear your opponent just either got hurt or if you check a kick or anything, like you hear everything in the Apex. So, but it's definitely a memory you'll never forget of your UFC debut.
When you say they asked you if they wanted you to check the cage, is that something they do every time? And is that something most fighters usually do? You would say like just check
For
the,
sure.
yeah.
For sure. But my coach was the one because he was my UFC debut. I never like I've been with guys. Like I cornered, that's why the UFC debut helped me a lot because I wasn't like so much nervous as much because I cornered so many guys, especially at the highest level too at the UFC, that I experienced everything. I experienced the walk, I experienced more crowd, I experienced the challenges, all that stuff. So I kind of like seen all that. So I was like, oh man, I'm ready for this. But coach asked me, he was like, hey, you want to go check the cage? And then the guy that works for the UFC, they were like, yeah, we can take you right now. We have like about 30 minutes before we can't go out. And I was like, no, I'm good, man. I'll stay right here. I'm good. I want to
Yeah.
experience it and all that stuff. So that was pretty dope.
Do you got some go-to music before you fight? Like the same kind
Uh oh bro, I'm the guy that you probably hate, but I just listen to Drake the whole time, bro.
of
Drake is my guy, bro. My walkout song is "Up All Night" by Drake, but that just yeah, that's my song, bro. I just put like Drake radio station and like they have like J. Cole and stuff like that, but
yeah.
that's like kind of my vibes. I just fucking listen to that and get my light skin going, and then that's it.
That's
Okay.
awesome. Youssef, one last thing before I let you go here. I teach about 150 students at my martial arts school. It's a big Taekwondo school, and they're all training to
That's
get their
awesome,
black
man.
belt one day.
Congratulations.
Oh, thank you, man. And you know, I guess my question to you is, what advice would you give those guys to come into the studio every day to keep training and keep getting better?
Oh man, what advice? I just trying to get their black belt, or just trying to like
Yes,
compete, or
yeah, yeah. Get the
what's
black
their
belt,
goal?
compete. I mean, everyone kind of has their own goal, I guess.
Oh, for sure, man. I'd say like really obviously stick to your goals, right? But have fun with the journey though. I feel like sometimes you forget about having fun. I feel like it's almost like I know people would say, "Oh, I don't want to work a 9 to 5 and all this," but it's like sometimes we make training and we make all this stuff like 9 to 5, if that makes any sense. It's like we come in and be like, "Yeah, I just want my black belt," because you can tell some people even when they get their black belt, they just got it because it's there, you know. But it's
Yep.
like you can sometimes you be like, "Oh man, how this guy is a black belt," you know, and like you can tell like that. So that's like my biggest advice to a lot of young upcoming guys too. It's like really enjoy the journey and enjoy the experience, if that makes any sense. I feel like sometimes like we forget about like moments like we just talked about, like, oh man, like I remember every moment that happened in that tournament because I was like, that was my whole enjoying the whole process to that tournament. So that was the whole thing. Like, might not be fun sometimes though, you know. It's like training is hard, you know, you get in and feel it, but the process is there though. That's what matters. And stay obviously the hard work, as cliche as everybody says, but that's the most important thing. I don't want to train with guys that I have to bring to the gym, you know, like bring your ass to the gym. I don't have to be there for you. That should be an instinct in your if you do any mixed martial arts, to be honest. So I feel like because mixed martial arts is no joke, man. This is your life, your health, your everything is on the line. So it's you can have fun. I don't know if I train to have fun. I have fun. If you guys ever watch me train or watch me do anything, I fucking have fun, bro. I enjoy it, but when it's serious time, it's serious time. But that's my advice to those guys, man. Like really enjoy the journey and enjoy the process to getting your black belt and really be there.
I appreciate it, man. And I guess last thing, anything to plug? Any last message to the fans that are going to be watching you?
Nah, thank you guys. I appreciate you guys, and hopefully we can have this interview again when we're back in the UFC, and then we get the first dub back, and then we'll get the story going again.
Absolutely. Hell
Yeah,
yeah.
man. Yeah, I would definitely like to have you back on. Youssef, thanks for coming on and appreciate you. And, you know, good luck to your future fights.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Yep, great meeting you, man.
Yeah, man. All right. See
Great
you
video.
later.
All right.
See you, man.
Yep.
終わって終わらない勝負を狂って